So I'm happy I can moderate this morning a session called The Place of BIM in the Digital Transformation of the Architectural Engineering and Construction Sector. And may I call the first speaker, Mr. David Vautrin, on stage. David used to be a project manager for Carrefour. Then he totally pivoted and be a market analyst at Deloitte. And then he finally decided in 2011 to co-found FinalCAD, and that will be one of the topics of his presentation today. They have a head office in Paris, but they also have an office in Spain, in Madrid. And his presentation is called The Digital Transformation from the Field. David, you're welcome on stage.
Good morning. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for coming. I take this. We're here today to speak about, we all speak about digital transformation in our industry, and we all share the same mission. We're here to change the way we build, because we all know the digital problem of our industry, and we love this industry. And I'd just like to take a bird's eye view of our context, actually, just put everything we do every day in our context. The context is, actually, we work for humanity, right? We are 7.5 billion people on the planet. And we build our environment. We build houses, infrastructure, energy, transportation, everything. And even if we go on Mars, we will have to do the same, right? And the thing is, in 2050, we're going to be 10 billion people on the planet. And we still struggle. We still don't know how to do this, right? We implement BIM to do it better, but it's just part of the solution. We know projects starting at 180 million, finishing at twice the price. We know projects doing time taking more than twice the expected time to deliver, right? And we know some projects that fails just after delivery. And we all know the solution is in digital transformation. And we're about to talk a little bit about what it is at an industry level, what it takes to run a complete transformation of an industry. So just before deep diving into it, I want to share a video about what we've made this far. So we've been lucky enough to work on 20,000 projects worldwide. So we have the luck to give you some insights about digital transformation. And we all know digital transformation is BIM, right? Having all the 3D, 4D, 5Ds, and to 7Ds digital transformation on the field. And we all know, 2 years ago, we started to say, there is a problem with BIM. The main problem with BIM is not changing the way we do the design phase, but the execution. Because no matter if you have an excellent design, your risk is in execution. If the company actually building what you planned, what you virtually built with BIM, if it's not well built on the field, the value is gone. So this is the main problem, the distance, the distance between conception and execution. So this is what we studied, for example, this figure is 14% of construction stakeholders actually use BIM during the construction phase. So we missed something. So what we did is fight for this, put boots to BIM, right? So we've created BIM enabler for the field, and we help people digitize their business processes. Here you see, for example, control sheets on structural works for a general contracting company. And it's very simple, very useful. And you know what? It's not even on tablets. Now it's 80% on phones, smartphones. So 5 years ago, we were moving people from paper to iPad. And today, we're moving people from WhatsApp to Final CAD on smartphones, right? And this is the main use. A smartphone is very small, even if you have a big smartphone, right? So we really work to make like the Uber of digital software for the field. And it's crazy. But actually, we discovered we were wrong with it. Not because BIM is not good, because we all know we have to do BIM. But BIM is not everything. And this is what the message we want to deliver today. It's BIM is part of digital transformation, but it's not the whole thing. And actually, we speak with all the projects, all the big companies we're accompanying. We're discussing with executive committees, with people on the field at every stage of the company. And what we see is some say, they may be a bit too bold, but some say BIM is built by engineers for engineers. Some say, even worse, some say BIM is not digital transformation, but BIM is something that slows down digital transformation, right? So maybe they're wrong, maybe they're pushing a little too hard, but it's not the whole thing. And why? Because 85%, on average, 85% of the people, of the million people of the construction industry are working on the field every day. And when you have 85% of the people on the field, you have to make sure you take them into the digital era, right? So this is what we do. We are a mobile-first company for construction, and we try to bring the digital to all this workforce on the field every day, just to don't lose digital when you are on the field. And this is the thing we heard just before. The people is the most important part. You can invest in technology and you just nailed it and it's okay, but you have to make sure your people are going to embrace it. And when we discuss with our customers, everywhere you have three things that come back. That's the key success factor for digital transformation. You have to select the right platform. It has to be mobile first for the end user on the field. It has to be a platform, a modular platform, to be flexible enough to digitalize all business processes from different industries, different people. And it has to be a platform to be open to your IT system to make sure it integrates perfectly with all your IT. So this is the first step. Once you've done it, you want to make sure it's going to be adapted, right, by 80% of your people. If you want to transform an industry, you can't say you transform 20% of the people, right? You have to transform like 80%. So you have to embrace everyone. So you have to find the Uber of digital transformation on the field, because Uber, you use it because of user experience, right? It's very simple. It's a pleasure to use. And then once you have your business process digitalized within these tools, you start gathering data, huge amounts of data, millions of data. And this is like the fuel for performance, the fuel for continuous improvement with actual data coming from the field. And when you don't have it, you're stuck with the Excel jungle. You have thousands of Excel files, all are different. You can make no study on them. So this is what we do. We have complete knowledge to be an industry partner for digital transformation with building companies. And I just want to deep dive a little bit about data, because data changes everything. we looked at big companies, especially data companies in the US like Netflix, Facebook, Google, Tesla. And we said, okay, we all talk about this buzzword, you know, artificial intelligence, augmented reality. What if we can use it in construction, thanks to the millions of data we have from the field, right? And you have two ways to do it. You can use it to enhance user experience for people on the field, and you can use it to analyze the 20% of issues causing 80% of problems, right? So first, we looked at augmented reality. And actually, now the technology is good enough to be used on device already existing. You don't need a specific equipment. You just use your phone or tablet, and you can have your drawings implemented into reality, and that helps you very much in knowing better what you have to do. And the other thing is, we all follow, for example, Tesla or autonomous driving, which is you put software, sensors in a machine, it recognizes the environment, and it can adapt its behavior based on the environment knowledge, right? We can do the same in construction. We can prepare like autonomous-like building, right? Giving advice in real time based on object recognition. So here we have this integrated, and the main challenge was to have it integrated offline, because most of the time you have it with a network, you have all the power of internet backstage. But when you're offline on the field, 90% of the time, you don't have any network access. At the better, you have edge connection, so it doesn't work. So we can do something like the ways of construction. You aim an object, it tells you what it is, and the common defects are related to it. So these are something we can do. We can also, within a project, progressively reduce the amount of defects instead of repeating mistakes, right? Because when you build a tower, for example, 20 stories, you have about the same level of defects at the higher stories than on the first ones. And that's because when you are on such a big project, you don't know how to tip back and have a global overview, look at the 10% of defect causing 80% of planning delay or budget slip. So we give this for you with our data scientist, and the defect reduction is drastic. It's crazy. And we can also, about 10 to 15% of progress on a project, we can understand how the project behaves, what's the target, and we can challenge the planning, the due date of the project and the actual expected delivery. So you can better manage your planning, and you can see what's wrong in the way. So these are part of the things we can do with data. It's just the beginning. We're just starting to do it, but would like to be known as an industry partner for this, for the digital transformation, including BIM. But we're going to do digital transformation. The industry is doing its digital transformation. It's coming right now. And we'll need a global vision. Maybe you heard in the last weeks, this American company, Katera, they raised almost $1 billion with SoftBank Japanese fund because they reinvent construction. They say we're going to build out of the box a modular construction company, and that's good. But they're not going to change the industry. They're changing themselves. Even if they're success, they are like 1% of the market. How do you change 80%? Right? And we are all here for this. Change is coming. It's coming really quick, and we want all to be the change to come. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.